Guys, I was browsing Reddit, and I'm gonna call this my Pokemon video for the day. Actually, both. But browsing Reddit, I found this really fascinating article, and I want to share it with you guys. So you just have to listen. I'm just gonna read the whole article. It's Reddit, so it's the topic, and then there's people conversing, and I'm just gonna kind of read it like a book to you guys. Okay? I think it'll be valuable. So, excuse me, allergies are kicking in. I'll start here. So it's the title. It's actually fascinating how cards have followed nearly the same trajectory as crypto. This is 1 year ago, only behind by a few years. 2013 to 2016 crypto, 2016 to 2019 cards, early adopters arrive. 2017 to 2019 crypto, 2020 to 2023 cards, mainstream media attention takes the asset class mainstream. 2020 to 2023 also, 2024 onward cards. Traditional companies and small governments, in the case of crypto with El Salvador, publicly enter the market. If this pattern continues, we're heading for a scenario where large governments start publicly investing in cards in a few years, similar to what's happening with crypto now. I'm legitimately scared for the future of this hobby. Based on this pattern, it's only going to get worse. First comment, good luck trying to regulate Pokemon gains, but in all seriousness, the market is getting large. We are going to be competing with a lot of new Rudies this year. And if you guys don't know Rudy, his channel is called Alpha Investments, specifically Shiny Cardboard Investments. So if you guys don't know that, check out that channel. Most of the TCG guys on YouTube get their information from Rudy. I'm assuming he's probably the biggest asset holder of trading cards and Shiny Cardboard that I know of. Comment says, Rudy downplays the amount of people who hold his amount of sealed. There will be lots of people not as vocal as him with basements full of sword and shield cases. That is a very good point. Rudy's just one guy publicly on YouTube. And you've got millions of people like me and you guys who don't have large voices on the internet. And we're sitting on I'm sitting on 30 grand of sealed. Okay? And, I'm assuming you guys, and I know some of you guys have 2 to 3 times more than me. So, that's true. It's true. There's a lot of people like us who don't have a voice that are sitting on a lot of Pokemon cards. So, got to count those people too. Next comment says, downplay? There's probably only a handful of people that are doing what he's doing. He has multiple warehouses for all his TCGs. Next comment in response to that guy says, I doubt there are many Rudies out there. He's basically the Michael Saylor of cards, and there aren't that many Michael Saylors out there in crypto. We're talking people hoarding hundreds of pallets of each set. I'd say the number of Rudies is 2,000 max, but people with at least a couple pallets of each set since they started stored away, probably at least 10,000. People with at least a few cases of each set since they started, I'd estimate around the number of people in this subreddit, possibly a bit more. People with at least a few boxes, that number is likely in the millions of people at this point. That's a really important comment, guys. That guy just quantified the numbers that the large, medium, and small players have in this market right now. So I'm one of those millions who have, one of each box, maybe 2 of each box, something like that. I don't have pallets. I don't have pallets, okay? I got a couple cases, but I don't have pallets. The next comment in response to that guy's comment says, to his level, yes, I agree a few. But when you consider how much sealed he has, it only takes a few investors of his size to hold significant portions of stock. I'm not saying there are thousands doing it at his level, but there's enough where they could entirely manipulate the market if they wanted to. Good point. Trump's going to make an announcement of a strategic Pokemon reserve. Okay, I'll just skip the dumb comments. One guy says governments will not be investing in Pokemon cards or cards in general, LMAO. Comment to that says everyone said the same thing about crypto before El Salvador proved everyone wrong. Good point. One guy says, terrible, terrible analogy. Crypto didn't exist 15 years ago. Pokemon's existed 30 years ago. Market has worked cyclically since it started growing year over year. More comparable to stock market, and we are in discovery. Yeah, I agree. Pokemon's more comparable to the stock market, in my opinion. This guy says, comparing it to the stock market is a terrible analogy. Okay, let's get into this. Okay, so prove me wrong. First point, stocks are backed by company profits. Cards, much like crypto, are backed by nothing more than influencer-generated FOMO, confidence among whales, and public faith that the market will continue to grow. I guess if by the stock market you mean things like GME, then I could see the analogy. Two, yes, the market. I was just thinking about something there. After that I was thinking like, that's not true. Cards, much like crypto, are backed by nothing more than influencer-generated FOMO. That's not true. Crypto, that's true. But cards are backed by the company that makes the cards. And if people like the company and like the cards. So that's not a good point right there. Second point, he says, yes, the market has worked cyclically since it started, but there has never been anything in cards even close to what's been going on for the past 5 years. True. I've been in cards since '97, playing Magic the Gathering before Pokemon cards were even available outside of Japan. I've seen it all. Response to this guy's 2 points. No, it's not that it's caused by a fundamental misunderstanding of everything you just described. First, stocks are not backed by companies' profits. The profit is one of a variety of factors that go into a value of the stock. True. Crypto, very separate from the meme coin trend you are describing, is valued using the on-chain tech it supports for the purpose it serves. Secondly, you have not been paying attention if that is your conclusion. Yes, 2020 and this year have been the most craziness Pokemon itself may have been. But cards in general, especially sports cards, have had multiple eras like this, multiple in each decade. True. The worst part of, stocks are the worst thing. Once you realize nothing is really backed by anything anymore, even the USD, you figure out why your comparison isn't the best. I guess it's all a facade, to be honest with you. So to be honest, where humans place their value is the most raw, I guess, form of investing, in my opinion, because everything's changing. Change is the only constant, guys. So I'm going to light my blunt up again. So this is very fascinating, this conversation, extremely fascinating. I don't know if it's interesting to you guys, but I think there's some good nuggets in here if you guys really pay attention to what I'm reading you here. One guy says, there is a small but surprising correlation between the two, but the drawdown is much lower on cards so far. One of the original crypto exchanges was originally founded as a Magic the Gathering marketplace. I wonder if that's true. Do you guys know about that? One of the original crypto, Mt. Gox? No way. Well, you guys can look that up for me. It should not be surprising that there's an overlap. When cryptos do well, some of that money makes its way into cardboard. Yeah, sure. If you told someone in 2020 that the U.S. government would launch a strategic Bitcoin reserve, they'd think that was satire too. Hell, if you told someone in 2020 that GameStop would invest in cards, people would also think that was satire. Because the idea of GameStop surviving sounded insane at the time. Okay, here's a big one. I'm going to end it soon here, guys. There's always been overlap. Magic the Gathering OX started as a online service. The person who initially popularized TCG player buyout strategy was Pharmabro Martin Shkreli during his brief 2016 stint in Magic the Gathering, who, while not a crypto bro, was very active on WSB, Wall Street Bets, and was famous for his unconventional investing strategy that was very similar to modern day crypto investing. Rudy got a huge boost in popularity in 2017 during the first great crypto boom, because many people who made big gains in crypto at the time saw what Rudy was doing with cards as similar to what they were doing with crypto. Rudy was well aware of this new attention he was getting and used to always emphasize the unregulated nature of cards, since that was a huge draw for the crypto bros. This worked, and many crypto bros turned to cards as a diversification strategy. One of these crypto bros was Gary Vee. Huh. And another of them was Collectibles Guru, the former of whom is the person who got Logan Paul into cards, and the latter of whom is the person who advised Logan on strategic card investing. Basically, this is the end of his comment. This is a long one. Basically, we would not be where we are today without Logan, a YouTuber who never would have gotten into cards without Gary Vee and Collectibles Guru, both of whom were crypto bros who never would have gotten into cards without Rudy, who never would have been anywhere near the phenomenon he ended up becoming without the great crypto boom of 2017. It all overlaps. If you guys want to read this, it's all on my screen here, so you can always pause. The response to this guy, or a new thread: as someone who has 6 figures worth of Pokemon, I don't think it will ever have the same trajectory as crypto. I've studied the crypto market since 2017, blah, 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 blah. Crypto is more similar to stocks, so you can quickly sell digitally large amounts with ease, whereas Pokemon, you need to find the right buyer to liquidate your entire collection. Takes a lot of time and effort. I'm going to start summarizing it for you guys. Wealthy people stray away from that type of grunt work as they value time over money and labor. True. Not having an instant trading exchange platform like Coinbase, Robinhood, or ETFs is an issue with shiny cardboard, preventing it from scaling from hundreds, thousands to millions and billions. That's the end of the thread, guys. Wow. Wow, that was actually fantastic topic. I'll leave you guys with that. If you want to, you can pause the video and scroll and read. Fascinating, guys. My thoughts on that article is that this is a year ago, so who knows what the sentiment now is if someone was to write an article. But I do believe in the shiny cardboard, guys, especially if crypto is going to start faking all you guys out like every month and just continue to suck your money up and dump you. People are going to run real quick to another asset. Probably Pokemon, One Piece, silver. Gold's pretty expensive now, but the thing is, it would be crazy if the government actually decided to get into collectibles and trading cards and things like that. We'll see what happens. I don't know what to make of this, guys. I really don't. In fact, I want you guys to comment and tell me what you think, because this is pretty big. Maybe some of this information could be just hoopla, but like the stuff about Rudy and the stuff through the grapevine with the Collectibles Guru, I don't know. Gary Vee. I mean, there's definitely some sketchy, suspicious shit going on in these markets, and it's really hard to invest right now. I'm finding it's very difficult to find a good spot for your money to grow that's going to give you gains in a reasonable amount of time. So I feel like people are kind of just taking lumps of cash and just trying to throw them at things like the dartboard, and trying to find something that sticks. And then if that sticks, they'll just keep throwing more money at it, So we'll see what happens, guys. Thanks for watching, and have a good day. Peace.